Now, I know I told y'all this. I do a whole little slogan, right? And my slogan always be like, you never know where G Bush might pop up and show up. You never know where I might be, radio, television, internet. And right now, it's about almost 11 o'clock Eastern time. Shout out to the people that's in Central, Pacific, wherever you at. Somebody probably looking at the screen like, I know this dude ain't running around here. What the heck is going on? Call your people. G. Bush, he on the sticks. Well, listen, we got something to talk about. We got to get to it too. I woke up, I was doing my little walking. I walked this afternoon and did what I needed to do. I saw a couple of fans watching the show and they hit me up, and I get back to the crib, take a little nap. I'll be waking up all kinds of times a day. And all of a sudden, I roll out of bed, look over at my phone, and I was like, oh, Joe Flacco, named the starter. Joe Flacco was named the starter. I said, okay, we kind of knew that. I went to sleep, went back to sleep. And then I roll back over again, and Twitter is going kind of crazy. Twitter going crazy. I'm like, what's popping off? They said, G. Bush, did you see the depth chart? I said, what depth chart? Let me check it. I rolled over and saw the depth chart. And lo and behold, what I always told y'all. I told y'all, didn't I? These guys, these people are amazing. I look at it, and I told you over the weekend, I told you. I go on UCSS, they done distributed the emails to everybody in the industry. I said, listen, what they done did. Now all of a sudden I take a look at the depth chart, and Shedeur Sanders is still number 4 on the depth chart. I said, oh, look at this. Look at here. I said, they probably think I'm going to wait this out to tomorrow. But I ain't going to be arguing with nobody tomorrow. I'm going to get my money off tonight. I'm going to tell you what I think about it tonight. And for those who caught this late night special of the barbershop, I got a show ready for you. I hope you ready to think, and I hope you ready to get to it, because I'm going to tell you and show you why this is systematic. This is what we've been doing. And I'm going to give you scientific proof of why and how the Cleveland Browns fan base, local media, all the above operate. And it's very, very easy to see why. Science tells us all about it. We'll come back and talk about it right here on an M-Time Promptu late night version of the Barbershop. Welcome on in. It's your boy G. Bush back at it. This is an exclusive, right? Usually I go live and I give you the live over, and I put it on Facebook. So Facebook Live is on. I usually give it, maybe sometimes I simulcast it to UCSS. Sometimes I simulcast it on Twitter. But I decided to jump on here tonight because I want to talk specifically to the base. Because I'm going to say something right now. Now I'll save it. I've had a change of thought about some things. I'll let you know at the end. If you stay to the end, you'll catch the grand thought, what I got going on, right? So we all know that over the weekend, Dillon Gabriel played a game in which it was nothing to write about, nothing to write home about. Consistently over the last, I would say 24 to 48 hours, there has been this push. There has been this moving and ground swelling to tell you, to basically call you stupid. And this is what I always tell people in life. The one thing that I always take issue with is when people insult your intelligence. For those who are trying to make it as if Shedeur Sanders' performance and Dillon Gabriel's performance were anywhere in the same universe is disrespectful. And the reason it's disrespectful is because you might as well be calling me a fool to my face. That you feel that you can say something and you got so much game, communication, swag, persuasiveness that you can tell me what I saw is the same thing. The other disrespectful part about this is the levels of gymnastics that you're willing to go through in order to tell us, oh, none of this matters. See, that's the problem that we get to at this point. When you get to a point where, and it's the reason I gave you this, and the reason I tell you guys all this stuff is because I'm letting you know so what you can be prepared for. The reason why they didn't mind or care if anybody practiced was because they had no intentions of ever letting those people earn their positions. And in America, a lot of what people are talking about when there was a certain slogan that went around that was make everything America great again, was the fact that they want to make it where there's some sort of thumb on the scale where you automatically get the benefit of the doubt. I'm sitting here watching these games, and when we talk about practice and we talk about what happens on the field, for some people it matters, for other people it don't. It's almost like one of them things where it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what you say or do. If you play well, we'll just simply minimize it. If the other person's plays bad, we'll simply add points to it and make it look the same. If one person is given reps arbitrarily, then you have to earn your reps. Once you earn your reps and you play well, then all of a sudden that doesn't count either. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk specifically to you guys, because there's a lot of people that have come in and they've recognized my blog. They've listened to my blog as a person who has been in the Cleveland market, who's been entrenched here. I started my journey into this industry in the year 2009. So that puts me what? That's what, 10, 12, that's what, 13, 14 years in the game, right? And I may what I would like to call myself a Cleveland Brown historian. I've had people on my show, Barry Shook, Dogs by Nature. He's a Hall of Fame voter for the Hall of Very Good. I love listening to stories. I'm a student of the past. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this video tonight for you guys is I feel that there's a lot of people that are confused, mad, upset, angry, and you don't have any sort of concept of what the hell are you people doing? Like, you probably is at home thinking to yourself, what's wrong with people in Cleveland, Ohio? What's wrong with the state of, what is wrong with Browns fans in general? What the heck is going on? Well, I'm here to tell you that I did some research for you. The good Lord gave it to me. I hope this quenches your thirst for a lot of things. Because I'm going to tell you that the Cleveland Browns have always done this. This isn't the first time. The Cleveland Browns have always hyped up people that are not necessarily franchise quarterbacks, regular quarterbacks, starting caliber quarterbacks, any of the above, all of the above. What if I told you that they've been doing this same song and dance since 1999, selling the fans on good old guys that try hard, throwing parades for people that ain't no good? What if I told you this was just the latest case of guys getting amped up, right? So let's talk about this. Let me show you some of the stuff, right? This is, how many of you guys out there remember Colt McCoy? How many guys remember good old Colt McCoy out of Texas? Remember Texas quarterback, good old solid Colt McCoy. All shucks, Colt McCoy. Well, they doggone threw a parade for my man Colt McCoy. Let's talk about this. Think about this. Oh, by the way, he's a 3rd-round pick. See, the Browns have this affinity to drafting guys who are overreached on and turn out to be no good. Let me just show you what we're doing. This is courtesy. I don't know who is courtesy. I think it's this new Channel 5 here. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. Let's see what this is.
Tonight, fans are buzzing about the quarterback of the future, Colt McCoy. Sports anchor Terry Brooks joins us now. And you know what, Terry? Everybody loves a new quarterback.
Hey, Danita, only a quarterback taken in the 3rd round could be the lead story at 11. Colt McCoy, not just a quarterback, he's a guy who led the Texas Longhorns to the national title game. Some thought McCoy had the talent to go anywhere from the bottom of the 1st round to somewhere in the 2nd round. The Browns feel like they got a steal in the 3rd round by picking up McCoy.
Sound familiar? 6 foot, no strong arm, no readily available strong traits. But we got to steal in the 3rd. We love his intangible and his moxie. See, we've been doing this for years, people. This ain't the first time we done built somebody up and talked about how great they were, and they were not hitting on any level. We've been doing this. Don't this kind of sound like, let me see, Andrew Berry?
I really didn't think that he would be available to us. I really felt that he would go before we had a chance to pick him. But when it didn't happen, thank you. When it didn't happen, it was something I really wanted to do, and Eric and Tom went along with me, and there you have it.
Happy man right there. Now, we will recap the Browns' entire day 2 of the draft and hear from Colt McCoy and 1st-round pick Joe Hayden later in sports.
Joe Hayden went in that draft, but they saw about Colt McCoy. Well, Colt McCoy turned out to be nothing more than a journeyman, 3rd string to 2nd string quarterback who had limitations that we all knew, right? That's what he turned out to be. Most people talked about him being in the 3rd round was a reach. Oh, I think somebody else was the 3rd round that was a reach. Let's see what you thought that was just a front office. Oh, no, I'll give you more. I'll give you more. This is the fans' reaction to Colt McCoy. Watch the jubilee amongst fans. Watch the level of just, Colt McCoy. Some of y'all in the chat like, I don't even know who the hell that is. You got to do the math on it. Let's talk about it.
The Browns may be 3-6, but you wouldn't know it gauging by the excitement of fans. The man at the center of that attention is rookie quarterback Colt McCoy. News Channel 5's John Kosick joins us live.
Did you hear what this woman just said? The Cleveland Browns is 3-6, but you wouldn't know it because they got their man, Colt McCoy. Watch how this man gets on the sticks and talks about him like he's the 2nd coming of Moses. Watch this rhetoric. Listen to this. They 3-6, mind you.
Live outside Brown Stadium tonight. And John, all I can say is what a difference a year makes.
I tell you, Danita, it was exactly 1 year ago I stood here at this time on this spot. The Browns were playing a Monday Night Football game behind us, but you remember the story at the time was the fact that the fans were staging a late walk-in and protest for the direction the team was going in. 364 days later, the attitude is 180 degrees different.
How you 3-6? Y'all had a walk-in the year before about how garbage you was. You 3-6 now, and this is a 180-degree turn? Listen, this is years ago. This is over 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Notice the names on the mics are different, but guess what? The commentary stays the same. Why? We've been doing this. Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett ain't the first ones to get this type of the reality check where you just got to go look in the mirror and say, am I in the Twilight Zone? Is this a scary movie where everything is upside down? That I'm being gaslit and told that this is what it looks like? Now watch these folks. Watch how just jubilant they are about what the heck they're seeing.
It was a hero's welcome tonight at Grace Church in Middleburg Heights. An overflow crowd of around 3,000 here to meet and greet these 4 Cleveland Browns.
I think the turnout tonight just shows how much people love football, and they love the Cleveland Browns.
There was one, though, in particular they came to see. Rookie quarterback Colt McCoy, who showed off the arm that has not thrown an interception in the last 12 quarters. A man who has shown the poise of a veteran.
He said the arm of a man who has not thrown an interception in 12 quarters. Well, hold on. Let me go ahead and do the math. If there's 4 quarters in a game, that means he played 3 games without a pick. And it's a parade? They did an expose piece. These folks is doing backflips because your 3rd round pick didn't throw any interceptions. This is the reason they're able to do mental gymnastics and tell you that 2 turnovers was actually good. Because these people have been doing the same thing for 25 plus years. It just ain't you. It just ain't me. This is status quo. This is what they've always done. We'll continue on. Watch the look at these folks' face. Watch them. I'm just giving it to you.
In a year where he wasn't even supposed to play.
A rookie. I mean, pressed into service, put into a role that he was never expected to face, and he's just doing phenomenally.
McCoy has done an inspiration for Cleveland. He's brought the team such vitality, and the team's holding together with him.
Really? They're 3-6, lady. He wasn't even supposed to play. I mean, he's just so awesome. This is why I give you the receipts. This is why when people are asked, why do you have the barbershop, G. Bush? Why have the barbershop so I could just go ahead and give y'all that work? You go out to get this work. Because when you talk about that 4-string stuff, this is indoctrinated, folks. This is in the culture, the fabric of who we are. This is what we've always done. Continue on. We'll continue to embarrass ourselves. Go look at Colt McCoy's. While I'm doing this and talking, go look at his career stats. We'll continue.
Harry Wiley was in the stands for the very first Browns game ever back in 1946. He liked what Otto Graham had, and he likes what Colt's got.
I think we got a quarterback.
When's the last time you felt that way about a quarterback?
Since Bernie Kosar was here.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
When the
Hold on. I should have already had this up. Hold on. I should have already had this. I'm sorry. This is bad. Let me see. Okay, let me bring this up here real quick. Let me see. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna let me get this together. This is bear with me here. Bear with me. This is wild work. I can't even believe this. Let me go get this right. Let me show you something. I just want to show you something. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put this in it. Can we put this in the chat, G. Bush? Can we put this in here? Yeah, let's show image. All right, here we go. This is what Colt McCoy did in his career as a Cleveland Brown. This man put Otto Graham's name in the mix. 2010 when this was taken. Colt McCoy threw for 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and was sacked 23 times. His QBR was a 52. Oh, maybe he got better the next year, G. Bush. Maybe it took a little more time. Okay, he played 13 games the next year. 2,733 yards. His completion percentage dropped 3% to 57. Oh, and by the way, he was captain check down just like the Cleveland Browns love, 5.9 yards per average. 14 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. 32 sacks this time. Let's see if the energy level of these people add up to the statistical level of what I'm showing you today. Feel free to hit the like button. Ain't nobody talking spicy like this late at night. I'm just trying to show y'all we've been doing this. This is one of them. If you know, you know. Like and share. This is one of those. We got the receipts.
Opened up for questions, McCoy politely deferred most to the veterans on the stage. He did say his attention remains locked solely on getting better.
You have to completely focus on your preparation, completely focus on your team and what you have to do when you're out on that field to give your team the best opportunity to win. And that's my focus each week.
You know, and that's the thing. Confidence on the field when shown off the field can come across as arrogance. McCoy is winning fans for his ability to play on the field, but also for his ability to balance, too.
Oh, we were still throwing buzzwords like arrogant around back then, right? Oh, but this is just confidence. This is confidence. This is different here. This is different here. You got to understand that. Oh boy, this is one of them late night ones. Let's keep going. Can I get to this? I just want to pull this up real quick. I want to pull this up. Does it sound familiar? I know this ain't for everybody. I know this. Let me go here. Let me see. What we doing? Now I want to see that. I want to see the career stats. Where the career ones at? See? Yeah. Let's get to them. I need to see it. Because I'm going to pull up somebody else's stats, and you're going to get an opportunity to see exactly what I'm talking about, because we've been doing the same thing. Change out Colt McCoy's name and throw this fella's name in there. Let me go ahead and save this. I'm working on the fly tonight. Bear with me. Yeah, I got something for y'all. Let's get this up out of here. We already know what you've been about. Let's get to this. Now I want to go ahead and do this. Seem familiar? Kenny Pickett, though. Let's go back to Kenny Pickett's career. Kenny Pickett is so strong. Kenny Pickett, his stats, he's just head and shoulders above. Kenny Pickett, rookie year, 2,404 yards. Captain check down again, 6.2 yards. 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But when you turn the radio on, when you turn on the TV, they telling you this man is second on the depth chart with what stats? Maybe he got better the next year, G. Bush. Sure he didn't. 2023, 2,000 yards. You went down 400 yards. And you threw for 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. You can't make this up, people. You can't make it up. Well, actually, you can make it up, because apparently that's what you do. You do that when you just want to give stuff to people. Evidently, these are stats worth going to the bat for. Let me see who's better. Colt McCoy. Hold on, let's check the Colt McCoy. Boy, I tell you. But they throw parades for people. We've been doing this. You see the date, 2010. What has changed? What has changed? Oh, by the way, The reporting is still the same too. Remember how people be talking and stuff? Well, here's the receipts, because this is from when they got Cody Kessler. This is when they got Cody Kessler.
Training camp is about to open, Mary Kay Cabot, and we got to hear from Sashi Brown and Hugh Jackson today, along with Joe Thomas and Joe Hayden. And the big thing is the quarterbacks, of course, and Cody Kessler. No surprise, he's going to start out taking the first team reps for the Browns.
Yeah, it's the same way they started out OTAs. Cody Kessler is still the man to beat. But you know what? Deshaun Kaiser really narrowed that gap in spring practices, and I expect that there might be some movement on this within the first week of camp.
They still talking the same jargon. It's the same stuff. Different faces. It's the same stuff, different faces. Oh, by the way, don't let them folks come in here and lie to you, talking about you're so divisive. This is divisive. We haven't done this before. It was the Shedeurians doing it. The fan base, we were all unified when this was happening. It's the Shedeurians that's doing it. I got the receipts. Hit the like button. I feel like this is one of my most explosive blogs of all time. Hit the like button. Listen to this. Let's find where he's talking about it. This right here is him talking about the divisiveness and how you got to give a hometown kid in Brian Hoyer, who wasn't no good, you got to roll with them. The fan base needs to come together.
That first game, so he may miss the first game, I think.
And the reason that is significant is, boy, he was so disruptive before he left with the heart ablation last year. 32 quarterback harassments. He was always around the quarterback, and I think they were really looking forward to his pass rush ability this year.
Yeah, the one thing that they have a little bit of luxury in is Armonte Bryant, who's really come on. I think he's been excellent.
He wasn't no good either. By the way, the season they talking about, they lost like 15 games or something.
Preseason. I think fans should really look for a lot of good things from him this year.
Of course, the third preseason game coming up Saturday night at First Energy Stadium. The starters will play about a half. Some will play into the third quarter. It will be Brian Hoyer's night. This will be the dress rehearsal game, but there will be also some of Johnny in this game.
Yeah, and good for Brian, though. You know, hometown guy gets to play a home game. The fans hopefully can get behind him. This has been a really tough battle for a
Sound the same? Maybe we could get behind him a little bit. Maybe you give him a benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's been a very tough battle, a quarterback battle, and I just think the fans are so divided. Don't it sound the same a little bit? My thing, we've been doing the same song and dance. Notice it's the same individuals. Because when you can control the narrative, you can stay in power, right? We'll keep going.
A lot of people, even the fans. I think that, you know, there's so many fans on both sides of the aisle. It's almost like Republican, Democrat type of thing. But I think the fans are going to, at some point, have to come together and rally behind Brian.
No, we don't. We don't got to do nothing but all I got to do is be black and pay taxes. I don't got to rally behind somebody that ain't no good, and he wasn't no good. Let's take a look at the stats, why don't we? Can we get his stats? Because he's so worth rallying around. He's so worth, you know, let's go ahead and take his stats up for instance, so we can understand why he was such the wise choice for to be a quarterback. Let's take a look and why this was just a no-brainer, why he got the start. And you know, this boy, these folks, let's take a look at it. Let me take a look at, let's get to this. I'm cooking. I know I'm cooking. It's okay. It's okay. We can get it. Let me show you Brian Hoyer's stats. So you can see that this is just not something new that just came down the pipeline. We've been always doing this same old song and dance, and they try to gaslight you and act like you stupid. Like we don't know what's going on. Let's continue to get it popping. Yeah, I got receipts and time on my hands. This is Brian Hoyer stats. The year in which we're talking about, he only completed 55% of his passes. He threw for 3,300 yards. He threw 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. This is Mr. Rally behind. 12 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. We've been doing this. We've been doing the same old song and dance. Right? You think I'm done? Sounds familiar? Oh, no, it don't sound familiar, right? Let's go ahead and let me get this together because I want it. Let me give you this. Let me give you this. Oh, by the way, we had a Joe Flacco before too. You don't think? Let me cue this up for you. Let me cue this all the way up for you. Where are we at here? Here we go. Let's make sure we get this together. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. We had, see the way they talk about it? See, we didn't have this before too. We've always talked about the veteran leadership and the presence and why you need one of these guys. And we're going to make sure that you understand it's just not you. Here we go. Y'all see that? Great. So listen to the way they talk about Josh McCown. You may say, who the hell is that? There's a reason. He wasn't no good either. But watch all the same narratives. Watch it.
One of the Browns players who stood out the most at OTAs and throughout the offseason programs was its oldest player, quarterback Josh McCown, who provided a valuable resource not just for the entire Cleveland Browns quarterback room, but for the entire 90-man roster as one of the veteran leaders.
Sound familiar? All you got to do is change the names and the faces, but the tropes and narratives stay the same. Josh McCown, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Colt McCoy. Josh McCown's veteran expertise provided him the skill set to quickly pick up the new offense. Here we go talking about picking up offenses again. Huh? Here we go talking about picking offenses up again. What did he say in the beginning?
The offseason program. One of the Browns players who stood out the most at OTAs and throughout the offseason programs was its oldest player.
Oldest player. The oldest player. And he's the biggest standout. We've been doing this, people.
Quarterback Josh McCown, who provided a valuable resource not just for the entire Cleveland Browns quarterback room, but for the entire 90-man roster as one of the veteran leaders for this team. McCown's veteran expertise allowed him to pick up the offense that Hugh Jackson and Pep Hamilton installed throughout the 3-month offseason program. And when he was on the field, he threw the ball effectively, got the players involved.
You notice the buzzwords. He was effective on the field. How? Did he score some touchdowns? Did he hit the right guys? No. You make up what indeed it needs to be. Whatever you got to make up to get it to sound good. On the field and a leader in the locker room.
And just serves as a great leader for the entire offense. He's been here before, has plenty of experience, and he showed it last year, having a career outing against the Baltimore Ravens and playing very effectively up until near the end of the season when he went down with a clavicle injury.
No. The clavicle injury did not cause him to be terrible down the backstretch. Look how they frame it. Look how they frame it. If you take, you could have swore they talking about, I would have said this was Joe Flacco up and down.
McCown is healthy now and providing solid competition for Robert Griffin III, and this quarterback competition is ongoing.
The quarterback competition is ongoing. Are we in 2014 or are we in 2025? It's the same script. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Quarterback competition. Really?
McCown is at the far end of the spectrum of a diverse Browns quarterback room that includes players that are hitting their prime, like Robert Griffin III, some younger, inexperienced players like Austin Davis and Connor Shaw, and a rookie in Cody Kessler. All five have to be considered in the mix, and McCown's...
Look at this dude throw the ball. That dude throw the ball like a JV lacrosse player. Oh, by the way, he actually started to.
certainly should be considered one of the top frontrunners for a job that remains wide open and will be decided during training camp. Keep it locked on ClevelandBrowns.com and the Cleveland Browns mobile app for all the...
Nah, I'd rather not. I'm straight. Let me get you up off the books. Let me get you up off the books. I'm sorry. 3,600 people in right now, and I'm just keeping it a buck. Can we talk about Cody Kessler a little bit? Garrett, do you have anything? Do you have any Cody Kessler? Do you have how? Hold on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Listen to this. Listen to this. By the way, we took a quarterback that was 40.
All right, Skip wanted some different bump music, so we let him pick this. It's from his era.
But
yeah.
I can touch that one.
Yeah, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let's go to the NFL draft. This is Mel's big think and where they're leaning at number 4. What should they do?
Jay, we had Brandon Whedon on a couple days ago.
We did.
Sitting right next to you.
Yes,
and
terrific young man.
I half-kiddingly suggested.
So young, sorry,
not
I had to slip that in there.
Fair enough.
He bowed up.
I half-kiddingly suggested, hey, how about Brandon Whedon to Cleveland at 4? And you kind of chuckled, and I kind of chuckled. Then I went home and thought about it, and I put it up on, speaking of, Twitter. I said, you know what? If I'm Cleveland, I'll take Brandon Whedon over Colt McCoy any Sunday. So why not? Because I don't think Brandon Whedon is getting near enough respect.
Sound familiar? I don't think Dylan Gabriel getting near enough respect. I mean, he was at Oregon. Look at the pedigree. I mean, he has a strong arm. He's a supercomputer. I think you guys are disrespecting him. Sound familiar? All you got to do is change the names out. But then you start to listen what the limitations are. Brandon Whedon is almost as farcical as saying Dylan Gabriel is starting. He's 5'9" or something, right? Brandon Whedon was 40.
As the third best quarterback in this draft. It's all about age discrimination here. He's 28 years of age, so we don't like him. But if you look at the tapes, if you look at what he did against RG3 and against Luck in the Fiesta Bowl, and even against Ryan Tannehill at Texas A&M, go look at the tapes and tell me he can't play in the National Football League.
Go look at Dylan Gabriel's size and tell me just because he's a little smaller in stature does not mean that he can't play in the NFL. It's the same thing over and over.
Well, I like your pick because I like him as a talent. The only problem is when you talk about a 28-year-old quarterback, drafting him high in the first round, the worry with GMs and owners as well as coaches is how long are we going to have this
He'll
guy?
be 29 by week 5 of the season.
These fools drafted a 29-year-old rookie. If I couldn't possibly make this up, you can't make it up, people. And they took this guy. So when you think that you're looking in the mirror and these people around here want to tell you that you're the one that's divisive, that you guys are delusional, no. The receipts have exonerated you. Yes, you see exactly what's going on. And yes, you see the fixes in. And yes, you see that here in this bubble and this little ecosystem and echo chamber, we have completely lost all reality when it comes to who is good and who is not. And I've always said the problem with the Cleveland Browns is this. They don't want to win. They're not trying to win at any cost. They are here to play around and play games and play mind games and keep power and keep printing money. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. And I'm gonna get to my thesis at the end if you stick around. I couldn't even wait to get to this. Let's get to the scientific portion of it, because I want to explain to you scientifically why it is that we are blooming fools. Care to listen? I'm sure you do. Let's get right to it. Get to share my screen. This is what you really came for. This young lady breaks down the psychology of why people like you, me, sports fans consistently go after the Colt McCoys, the Dylan Gabriels, the Brian Hoyers, the Brandon Whedons. Notice something. They all have these major glaring issues that we overlook because we want to root for them. We identify with them. By the way, understand it. She breaks this down eloquently. Shall we look?
Hey, I want to show you something. These two are racing to the finish line. Let's watch for a minute. Pause. So, who are you rooting for? My guess is that you are rooting for the smaller circle. And frankly, I bet that almost all of you were rooting for the smaller circle. And that's for one very simple thing. It was the underdog. Okay, so let's go over some of the basics. The underdog is defined as a team or individual who has a low probability of winning, but sometimes makes a comeback, as you kind of saw in that video we just watched. And even though they often come from some disadvantaged position, we just as humans tend to root for them. Think of some of your most favorite fictional stories or characters. Harry Potter, Cinderella, Frodo Baggins, and even, most traditionally, the tortoise and the hare. In this effect, it is near universal across all different cultures, which may seem to indicate that it is just a component or a trait of being human. And I want to look at some of the research that has been done in this area. So in 1991, Fraser and Snyder at Bowling Green State University studied this underdog effect. They gave 100 participants fictional information about two different sports, both of which were fake. Team A had some stats, Team B had some other, and one was clearly the underdog. And what was incredibly interesting, and I feel like harder to predict, 81% of people ended up saying that they would root for the underdog. And again, this is fictional teams, which may help you understand why I probably was able to predict that you felt the same way about two circles, like not even individuals, not even people, just little circles.
I just got chills because of that. Because what I try to do for you on the barbershop is I try to come to educate you. Notice, shout out to her. What is her name? Maya. Please, if you see this, subscribe to her channel. I appreciate we using this. But she's showing you the unconscious bias in the way that we go about rooting for people. Notice the underdog has a very low probability of success. And I've given you eloquently a track record of Cleveland Browns fans, media, and local journalists going crazy over guys who you saw their stats and they were never good. As a matter of fact, most times they knew their stats before they got here. It's the reason that Kenny Pickett can have the number of stats he has, and guess what? You still say he's in the lead. It's the reason Dylan Gabriel can be outplayed by Shedeur Sanders the entire preseason, and he's still ahead of him on the depth chart. It's scientific because we love rooting for those people. And by the way, when you have a person who is as famous as Shedeur Sanders, they're not mad at Shedeur Sanders because whether he can play or not. We've already shown that it doesn't matter what he does on the field. He's being penalized because people are insecure that he is that famous. We have proven our scientific method. We see it. You're telling me that a person who has not had a track record of success, who has bounced around the league and is probably going to be a backup the rest of his life in Kenny Pickett, you're telling me that he cannot play the entire preseason, yet he is still ahead of Shedeur Sanders? You see, the problem is they're not fighting his play. They're fighting his reputation. They're fighting their insecurities. They're fighting their natural bias. Shall we continue? Yes, we can. Hit the like button if you appreciate it. Let's roll.
How strong the effect is that humans just tend to pick up who the underdog is and then really hope that they can make a successful and rewarding comeback. And so I kind of found this interesting, and I wanted to think about and discuss why this would possibly be the case. Like, where does this effect come from? I want to propose that there are probably 3 different reasons that we're at least going to talk about today of why we care so much about the underdog and why we root for them so hard. The first I'm going to propose is the fairness bias. As humans, we crave justice. We want competitions to seem fair. If one player completely outdoes another or is just on a completely different field, a different league, it feels really unfair for the little guys.
When you're so famous, like Shedeur Sanders, and you're already rich, and everybody wants to come see you, and you sell all those jerseys, what about poor Dylan? What about him? Why won't we look at him as a starter as well? I mean, is Shedeur really that good? You know where we're going with it.
And I think that is one reason we're just going to naturally start rooting for the underdog so that we can watch a fair game, watch a fair sport. The second is that just we as humans also really love the unexpected. When an underdog actually successfully makes a comeback, it feels very exciting because it's that element of unexpected. And then I'm going to say that the final reason why I think we tend to root for the underdog is because it gives us a little reminder that anything is possible. I think that this is a testament that we all sometimes believe and sometimes we lose hope in. And life can get incredibly difficult, and a subtle or obvious reminder that anything can happen, including anything can happen for yourself, anything can happen in the world, things can turn around, is a really good reminder. And when the little guy wins, it is, blatantly in your face that little guy, he defied odds, and you can too.
You see, to understand what she fully said, you must go down and you must understand what it is to live in the state of Ohio. When you live in a Rust Belt city where your main manufacturing places and hubs are rubber in Akron, gone. Steel in Cleveland and Canton and Akron, gone. Manufacturing plants, assembly lines, textiles, gone. Coal, natural gas, gone. All the jobs left, the skill sets that there was once passed down from your father to you, the skill set that my father worked at this plant, he was a foreman, I'm about to work at this plant, I'm going to be a foreman. They just picked up and left. Now what? Downtrodden, economy out nowhere. So when you pick a guy who has limitations, who's against him, who's not the most famous, who's not the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, people pick somebody they can identify with. And when you're in a city and when you're in a place where you think that the world has forgotten about you, then it becomes entrenched. Now it's just no longer like you. It's you are me and I am you. I must represent the small guy because it's a representation of what it means to be a person that always is trying to make it, trying to figure it out. It's easy. It's so simple. I'm just giving you the results. Now that we understand why we root for the underdog, let's continue on this journey, and I'm going to get to my last critique. I'm a big person into psychology. I believe that psychology, science, is a predictor of knowledge. It's a predictor of what we see in our society every single day. And for those who are confused about what's going on and how things move, you must be in tune with human nature and human behavior. Shall we look at why people do what they do? And I'm going to list multiple biases and compare it and show you how these biases are rearing its ugly head in the media, with the Browns, and the people you talk to every single day. Let's get it cooking. Hit that like button, 3,600. I don't know where y'all at, man. Hit that like button. Let me see. Yeah, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part right here. Here we go. Here we go. Every cognitive bias in 10 minutes. Let's see if you can pick up on some of these. Let's start with the first one.
Every cognitive bias explained. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias refers to the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information received, the anchor, when making decisions or judgments. This bias can lead individuals to make choices that are unduly influenced by the initial anchor, even when subsequent information contradicts or outweighs the relevance of the anchor.
You say, G. Bush, what this got to do with the Browns? Oh, anchoring bias. Have you heard this before? Well, G. Bush, they can't cut Kenny Pickett because he was the first one they traded for. Subsequent information contradicts or outweighs the relevance of the anchor. As you can see in this example, this man, they cut the price from $60K down to $30K. And because he saw the slash, he didn't ever really think, well, maybe the car is only worth 30 to start with. But look at the fool at the bottom. But the dude at the top says, this is way too expensive, $30,000 for this. But the dude at the bottom so stupid, he think he got a deal. The Cleveland Browns is running around talking about who they took first and not paying attention to if they good or not. I took Kenny Pickett first, so he has to be on the team. I got Flacco second, so he has to be on the team. I got Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. So since it's 5th, it's the latest. And you idiots. It's all human nature. It's right there. Anchoring bias. Let's continue right on. See how many more of these we can get, boys and girls.
The availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that involves basing judgments or decisions on information that comes to mind most easily, typically due to its vividness, recency, or frequency. People tend to overestimate the likelihood of events or situations that are more easily recalled or imagined.
Oh, I think, Drew Brees was very short. Russell Wilson he played like that. Tua is not that big. I mean, yeah, we look at those examples. That means that you can succeed at quarterback. You have limitations. No, it doesn't. That's it's a classical fallacy. You remember it because it was vivid, because those guys were short and could play. It's recent. But what you're greatly overestimating is the frequency. How often does that happen, and are those people outliers? We'll continue on. I think I'm dead on right now.
Potentially leading to inaccurate assessments and decisions. Bandwagon effect. The bandwagon effect is a psychological phenomenon where people tend to adopt certain beliefs, attitudes, or behaviors because others around them are doing the same. It stems from the desire to conform and follow the crowd, as well as the perception that the popular choice must be the correct or beneficial one.
Let me bring that back so I can see it. I think you guys are readily available to see what this is. The bandwagon effect has been large and in charge from get-go. One beat reporter says Kenny Pickett is ahead. Another journalist says, I think Kenny Pickett got a borrowed deal. Another journalist says, well, despite the numbers, I think Kenny Pickett, all of a sudden, now Kenny Pickett's in the league. Bandwagon effect. See, here's the thing. People have a natural affinity to conforming to certain things. They want to be involved. It's the blind leading the blind. You tell me that Dillon Gabriel didn't play that bad, all of a sudden 7 or 8, 9 people, actually, I don't think he played that bad. Next day, actually, to be truthful, he played pretty good. Next day, actually, to be truthful, I think he played the same as Shedeur.
Popular choice must be the correct or beneficial one. Base rate fallacy. The base rate fallacy occurs when people fail to consider the base rate or general probability of an event when making judgments or predictions. Instead, they focus on specific situational information, even when it contradicts or is less relevant than the base rate data.
What's the likelihood of Dillon Gabriel coming in and being a monster? Less than 1%. But now all of a sudden it's possible because you know 3 or 4 other people that did it without looking at what you're looking at on the field. A lot of this has to go with they're not even carrying and factoring in any of this on the field.
Bias blind spots. The bias blind spot is the tendency for individuals to recognize cognitive biases in others while being unaware of or underestimating their own biases. People often believe they are more objective and less susceptible to biases than they actually are, making it challenging to identify and correct their own bias.
Case in point, Shedeur Sanders does something. It was okay. I mean, he's a 5th round pick. Shedeur Sanders throws touchdowns. Listen. It wasn't all that. I mean, Dillon Gabriel's way smarter still. Oh, Shedeur Sanders needs to learn the playbook. We need to call Shiloh and learn the playbook. But then, the CU aunties, the Shedeurians, you guys are so biased. You guys are delusional. How you going to sit up here and tell me I'm delusional when the only reason I'm arguing and clapping at you crazy is because you throwing shade from the day one? But we bias. But we the biased ones. I think right now scientifically is cooking. Put a 1 in the chat if you hear what I'm putting down.
Thinking. Choice supportive bias. Choice supportive bias is the tendency to retroactively ascribe positive attributes to an option or decision after it has been made, while overlooking or downplaying the flaws in the chosen alternative.
This just happened last week. You supported Dillon Gabriel. You've been supporting Dillon Gabriel. Now all of a sudden, he plays bad. He has 2 turnovers, and you are overlooking or downplaying the flaws in the chosen alternative. Downplaying. Well, Shedeur didn't play that well either. 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers. Which one would you rather have? This is why I do it on the barbershop. Because I need visually to show you that what people are doing, this ain't rocket science. This ain't rocket science.
This bias helps people feel more confident and satisfied with their choices, even when the decision may have been suboptimal. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the inclination to seek out, interpret, and prioritize information that aligns with and reinforces existing beliefs or hypotheses.
It's kind of like saying that the most important thing is leading the team and breaking the huddle and getting the team in and lined up correctly and information that you have prior and the pre-snap stuff and understanding the playbook and the verbiage. It's kind of like being like, oh, that's more important than not throwing picks. I thought he did a good job of getting in and out of the huddle. I don't. Who gives a damn about that? He threw picks and dropped the ball. But then if you got confirmation bias, you seek out information that's going to prove you right. Too bad that the information is not, it's not very persuasive, but you see why you do it.
While dismissing or downplaying contradictory evidence, this bias can lead to a distorted and one-sided view of reality. Conservatism bias. Conservatism bias, also known as the status quo bias, is the tendency to prefer and maintain the current state of affairs, even in the face of potentially beneficial changes or alternatives.
Shedeur Sanders outplays Dylan Gabriel. Kenny Pickett don't even get on the field, but yet and still he's fourth in the depth chart. I mean, these are to the T definitions. The status quo. Remember what I said about people been talking about the same narrative? It's the same people talking about the same thing for the last 12 years with the same context to it. Of course you're going to have that same knowledge and that same status quo bias because you want to still be here 10 years from now. It's all here, all first verse.
This bias stems from a preference for familiarity and a resistance to change. Contrast effect. The contrast effect is a cognitive bias that occurs when the perception of something is influenced by its comparison to a contrasting object or situation.
Whoa, boy. I'm spot on. See, the contrast effect is this. Shedeur Sanders is brash, outgoing, rich, charismatic. Dylan Gabriel is introverted. He's quiet, shies away from everything. So the contrast effect is the more you don't like something over there is the more you build up the contrast, the exact opposite, the mere opposite of it on the other end of the spectrum. That's how Shedeur Sanders went from being the person that had to earn everything to Dylan Gabriel was a supercomputer and he was light years ahead of him. I'm just giving you what it is. Please tell the people how that affects your judgment.
For example, a person may seem more attractive when compared to an unattractive person, or a salary may seem higher when compared to a lower paying job. Declinism. Declinism is the tendency to view the past in an overly positive light and perceive the present or future as being in a state of decline or deterioration. This cognitive bias can lead to nostalgia, pessimism about current circumstances, and a romanticized view of historical errors.
You mean kind of like Kevin Stefanski's playbook? Yeah, I remember once upon a time when his playbook was bottom 10 and we couldn't get no points. Now all of a sudden he want to go back to his playbook and all of a sudden it's, woo, the pass was great. Yeah, the nostalgia of Kevin Stefanski's playbook. Come on, man. Now all of a sudden you done romanticized it. That's all you hear.
Eras. Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which individuals with low ability or knowledge tend to overestimate their own competence, while those with higher ability or knowledge tend to underestimate their own competence.
Let me talk to you about this one. How is it that I played football, dedicated my life to watching film and studying? How is it that I have the same weight on my personality or the same weight on my conversation than somebody who has never played a day in their life, don't watch film, do not watch the people that's on the field, but yet still they get to write. They get to say their opinion. For me, the Dunning-Kruger effect perfectly describes the media. The media is generally consisted of people who have never played at a high level, but yet and still believe that they're so much smarter than everybody that they're supposed to just say something and you're supposed to take it for face value. But you ask them, did you watch Shedeur in college? No. Did you watch the game in all 22? No. Did you watch any of the quarterbacks that you say is great coming out next year that's going to magically change the Browns? No. Somebody I know told me about it. But you got the nerve to be sitting up here all high and mighty? I'm just breaking it down.
This bias can lead to a paradoxical situation where the least skilled individuals are the most confident in their abilities. Endowment effect. The endowment effect is the tendency to ascribe greater value to items or possessions simply because they belong to the individual. People tend to demand a higher price to sell an item they own than they would be willing to pay to acquire the same item if they did not own it.
You got 4 quarterbacks. You talk about you going to keep 4 quarterbacks on your roster, and we know a couple of them ain't no good. But you still trying to hold on to them, talk about we might be able to flip them for some picks. And the whole world is laughing at you like, bro, I don't want to buy your old fake China set that your grandma said it was worth something. It ain't worth nothing. This is fake China. Will have sentimental value. We'll sentimentally keep it in your house then. I'm not paying you for that. But the Cleveland Browns, they overvalue everything that walk into their system, even when other people discard it. The Pittsburgh Steelers discarded a quarterback. As a matter of fact, they were better than you when they got rid of that quarterback, and they still better than you today. Why would you take somebody else's leftovers and then try to play the same team that let him go because they thought he wasn't no good? We could keep going. We could keep going. It's 100 of these.
Framing effect. The framing effect is a cognitive bias that describes how people's decisions or perceptions can be influenced by the way information is presented or framed.
We'll end on this one. Framing. Well, I'm not saying that Shedeur isn't intelligent or doesn't understand the offense. I'm just saying that he doesn't have the same experience level as Dillon Gabriel. Well, one of the reasons Dillon Gabriel has a lot of experience was he had no opportunity to come out early because he wasn't that type of prospect. So you're going to give him credit for being in college all them years, when in reality, the reason why he was in college all those years was for the simple fact that he wasn't good enough to turn pro. So now you frame it as, oh, that's experience. I frame it as that's a lack of talent. There you have it. I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to get to your comments. Hopefully, 3,758 people in here. You enjoyed the demonstration scientifically as to why the Cleveland Browns fan base continues to do the things you do. And you've waited for this thesis statement right here. Y'all always say, a lot of y'all say, I can't wait till you get him out of here. He got to go. Just let him go. Let him move on. Just whatever you got to do, be over it. I always push back on y'all for that. Because out of my own selfish reasons, as a player, a former player, as a person who studies the game, I know that he has the ability to be a franchise quarterback. And I would love nothing but for the Cleveland Browns to get a franchise quarterback with a person who I think can be special and a difference maker. However, my mom and dad didn't raise no fool. And I'm going to tell you this. I may want that for the Cleveland Browns, but more importantly, I want to have his success as a human being. I would like to see Shedeur Sanders have success as a human being and get the opportunity. Because I've seen so many people come through these doors, so many people who are marginalized, so many people that are maligned, so many people that come in and don't get a fair opportunity, come in, aren't used correctly, come in, is always beat down, it's always something wrong with somebody. If it's Odell Beckham Jr., it was he's too brash and he don't want to be here. If it's Nick Chubb, oh, Nick Chubb's washed, he got to go. If it's Myles Garrett, he got these speeding tickets. At some point, you get tired of it, man. You get tired of it. And just like family members, you got some family members that you love, but you know they got wrong tendencies. You know they ain't right about certain things. You still love them. You still want to see the best for them, but you ain't willing to turn a blind eye and not be upfront and talking and speaking out on certain things. When I saw Shedeur Sanders was still in the fourth string, it's a violation of what I think athletics are. At the end of the day, there should be no political nature to it. You should be able to stand on your own merits, your throws, and how you play on that football field. And for you to and put out an unreleased depth chart or a depth chart of any type with Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders or Kenny Pickett ahead of Shedeur Sanders, it's garbage. It's pure, it's unacceptable, and it's garbage. And to be truthful, the people sitting around here acting like this was some sort of, we testing you. Frankly, the Cleveland Browns aren't good enough to test somebody. Kevin Stefanski don't have enough cachet to test nobody. Andrew Berry don't make picks good enough for he to test anybody. The Browns organization been losing for 40 years. They are not in a position to be running around here playing squid games. This is not Saw 9. We don't ain't got time for that. So my thesis statement is this. If the Cleveland Browns don't do right by Shedeur Sanders, I have no problem with him getting the opportunity to go somewhere else and play. I say that right now because I want to see him do what's best for him. He's done all the right things. He's shown up. He's been a part of the community. He's done everything they asked him to do. He was throwing the trash cans and people. He never got first team reps, and he showed up and put a damn good football game on tape. It's more than I can say for everybody else. So if they want to act like this is how it's going to move, I wish Shedeur, and it hurts me to say this, because I want nothing more than to see him play and do his thing in the Cleveland Browns uniform. But as you see, I laid out the track record. We ain't got a good track record of knowing nothing or doing the right thing. So I like my team at the end of the day, but I'm all about people. He showed me what he was about. He showed me what he was doing. He ain't complained. He ain't said nothing. He did his thing. But as you can see here, I don't have much hope or faith that they're going to figure nothing out because they're not trying to win. They're not. You got people openly telling you about how they should lose games, openly how we going to get a quarterback next year, openly talk about how we're going to do this, that, and the third. And it's the level of arrogance that gets to me, man. It's the level of arrogance that you come out here with and act like we stupid and dumb, and what you put on like you Vince Lombardi. You ain't Andy Reid. You ain't Sean McVay. You ain't Kyle Shanahan. You're not Bill Belichick. You're not Nick Saban. I've never seen a city and a group of individuals willfully and wanting to take L's. There isn't a winning bone in none of that. Not one. Because they're too content with it. When you go to these other cities and these other places, you can't utter certain words. You can't just say I'm about to lose in New York, but that's the problem. When you lose for so many years, I will give you a story. I went to Ohio University. I came from Camp McKinley High School. I won a national championship in 1997, the first public high school to ever win a national championship. We repeated the first public school in the history of Division I sports to win back-to-back state championships because other Catholic schools can recruit. We just had who we had. We just happened to be damn good. 6-7 players off that team went to the NFL. Countless Division I scholarships. I got to Ohio University, and the first thing that hit me was the culture shock. The level at which they were okay and willing to take L's and act like nothing happened was something I've never seen. And when you talk about the culture of losing and you talk about the culture of why people think the way they do, they subconsciously feel like, well, they lost it for 100 years before I got here. Why should I care? Better than what we had. You hear it all the time here. It's the best thing we had since 1999. You saw it. You got people doing parades for Colt McCoy because you was 3-6. What a year. What a 180-degree turn that was. Come on, man. So look. It is what it is. If Shedeur Sanders can't get an opportunity here, I wish him the best of luck wherever he is at. I wish him the best of luck. And it hurts to say that. But I refuse to play the games anymore. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I'm too old now. Listen, when I was younger, maybe I could have did it. But I'm too, like, I see what my uncles be talking about or my grandfather talk about. After so long, you just don't got the energy to play the game no more. Because I'm showing you that they playing dumb. These people they playing dumb. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like you're gonna tell us to keep us at bay. It's a competition. We're gonna put it out there. It's a competition for 3 people. These people have been given everything on a platter. But then they tell you gotta earn it. But when you deliver, all of a sudden, oh, none of that mattered anyway. Nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it. Sorry, can't do it. So here's why I got on these sticks. Here's why I did that. What is it, 12 o'clock midnight. And the reason I got on here today is because I'm not going to be running around arguing back and forth with nobody on all my other platforms. I don't have the time or energy and patience to play the reindeer games no more. If the Cleveland Browns want to start Pickett and Flacco, I'll cover the games. I'll watch it. I'll do my job. But I'm not going to be sitting back and arguing with you back and forth while you try to justify something that we all see in plain sight. It is what it is. It's a side of me that says they're trying to make him go out here another game in the last game of the season so he can go out and ball. And if he does, they'll come back and say, we really didn't even have him in the 4th string. We was just trying to motivate him. He was always going to be. I get it, whatever you're going to say. But I just don't have no time to play the games with you. I can't do it. And so this is my homage to you. I can't hold you back no more. I'm not going to play that role. Oh, no, Shedeur be all right. Like, just let him just chill. Let it play out. Hey, bleep all the playing, all that let it play out stuff. It had already played out. And it was a sham. It was a farce. It was nasty work. And it's still nasty work. So I wish him the best of luck. I hope it's here. And I hope I'm wrong for what I'm saying. I hope something work out where he get an opportunity. But it just left a complete nasty taste in my mouth to wake up and to see something like that. And for people to try to sell that to you. I could deal with it because I watch the games and listen, I watch the film work and I ain't worried about it. But for them to try to be gaslighting fans, like, come on, man. I had to give you why they do it. Now we done. Let's talk to y'all, man. What's up, man? We got a bunch of chats and blame the Browns. Crazy to do when I just gave you, this is why I do this. This is why I gave you specifically all of those cognitive biases. And you run up here and just confirm them. Instead of taking, I see in your message, I don't see you bringing up the play. You're hanging on to the 5th round. Again, it just shows you that even when you break it down to give them the psychology, people just really don't get it, do they? It's kind of hard. Dylan Gabriel's tape was better. No, Dan Orlovsky probably was like, listen, it's way too many of them. I need to keep this a buck. Mama Bell, 70. God made a way once. And will again. Shedeur will be quarterback number 1. I sure hope so. Never heard so many excuses for turnovers in my life. It's to a point. where it's astronomical right now. I'm here. Get that late night cut. We support Black Five Entertainment, man. Oh, little did we know how bad things would get. Blank 964, we appreciate the super chat. Quizerm says, G. Bush, I can't wait to hear Jason Lloyd spin the performance in the positive. He looked good, yes, but 2 turnovers, 0 touchdowns ain't gonna get it. Hey, listen, evidently, whew, man, I need to turn the ball over tomorrow if it's like that. We're gonna keep turning it over. Mr. Bell, this is great commentary, and you're 100% in that bullseye. A long dog, lifelong dog in Austin, Texas, raised in Cleveland. Keep telling it like it is. (1983) Mays. G. Bush, this is awful, man. Get you a new team, man. I'm crying at these stats. Watch Jacksonville with 12 games because the Browns think that they funny. That's the thing, bro. This is why I got to show you. We've been doing this same 2-step. You see how happy their faces was? And then you drop the stats, you be like, dang. Shazan, oh my God. You nailing it, G. Bush. Your show is good except for the guests that also sound like this. Oh, boy. P. Rothstein, they're going to mess around and make me not be a Browns fan, for which I've been 49 years. Is this going to be just rooting for 12, whoever he plays for? Man, I always said, listen, I watch the Browns because that's your team. Like we said, you got family members that you love and you want to see the best for them, but you ain't got no problem calling them out when they do something stupid. And right now, their depth chart is ridiculous. It's nasty work. Bridget Maxey, 4197. Gee, I hate to put you down, but I can't. You telling me? Hey, listen, I'm a lone representative. Whatever they do, you don't. I am not offended, but I can't take Cleveland anymore. They're trying to crush your door, and it disturbs my soul. You're a good dude. I appreciate it. Riz NJ says, appreciate you, G. Bush. Love your content. I'm a Shedeur fan and hope the Browns release him at this point. If you can't respect the work, let him work somewhere else. I mean, because he just didn't get a fair. He just didn't. It's crazy. Like, and I'm not the only one saying it. Shout out to Jonathan Peter and Nick Wilson. Matter of fact. So people know that I'm not the only crazy one that's moving like that. Because it's crazy to me how cats be moving. Oh boy. Who said this? Oh, this 13 days ago. All right, never mind. I can't find it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it on Saturday if y'all pull back up. We'll get to it on Saturday. 1983 man said, glad the hood in Cleveland didn't go down to Brook Park and delay them building the new stadium for playing with 12. I'm not endorsing, just saying. Appreciate you, man. Rogers 12 says, Brown fan always loved the backup. Shedeur Sanders is too big for Ohio, just like OBJ. If this was Baker, fans would be outraged by being on number 4. By the way, when it was Baker, people lost their mind when Hugh Jackson brought Baker in on Hard Knocks and said, congratulations, you won the backup job. Cats was hot. They said, how dare you embarrass him on national TV? They was not trying to have it. Tex Coco says, G. Bush, basically what you were saying is that the front office is a bunch of dummies. I totally agree. I don't know what they be doing, man. They have, I don't know what they be doing. It's no excuse for it. Keep cooking, G. Bush. 1. Katrina Tyson, thank you so much for the super chat. Finding your 4083. I feel like I'm back in my MBA coursework. G. Bush is teaching today. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I had to come. I had to get in my bag tonight. Lord Gay, he got me up out to sleep. Nah, we going live. Nah, we ain't waiting. We not gonna wait until Saturday, 12 o'clock. And I appreciate every single one of y'all in here. It's 3,000 people in here at 12 midnight. That is a blessing. I appreciate y'all. Y'all got to go to work. Kids got school. I appreciate you, man. All the ladies, all the guys, all the uncles, all the aunties, all the Browns fans, because we all in here. Mary Kay said today Dylan Gabriel didn't play as well in practice because he was helping Kevin decide which plays work, and so his completions weren't important. Marion Brandon 247. You can't. You got to be lying to me. You got to be lying. That cannot be the truth. That can't be the truth. Auntie, that cannot be the. Can somebody confirm that? Emmanuel Johnson, Big Dog is cooking. I appreciate you. Nasir Maru, gee, I think the Browns should just release Shedeur because they clearly do not want him. I'm a conservative. I agree. I agree with your politics 0%, G. Bush, but I know football and Sanders is clearly better than 5'7" Gabriel. I tell you what, man, that's a great thing about the barbershop. We love conservatives too. Hey, man, I ain't got no problem disagree on policies. That's what good debate is for. Tax rates, foreign policy. We can talk about that. Monetary policy, infrastructure. You know, there's a conservative way. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a over-the-top liberal, but you could always have policy conversations. But the one thing that has to matter is, I don't care what affiliation you is, Republican, Democrat, Christian, Muslim, white, black, Asian. Your merits on the football field is supposed to stand for something, right? We all agree with that. And the merits ain't equaling up right now. It ain't. I seen Joe Burrow retreat backwards for a sack tonight. I guess he's the only quarterback in the league, this league either. Hey, White Towns King. I caught that too. I peeped that too. He was backpedaling. Shedeur was backpedaling. He was running backwards. Yeah, Lamar Jackson runs backwards. Josh Allen runs backwards. Michael Vick runs backwards. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels run backwards occasionally. What are you talking about, man? That be just making stuff up. P. Rothstein, G. Bush, this might be your greatest dissertation ever. I don't even understand how do you cook like this and nobody in the media brings it up. Haters. Sometimes it goes over heads a little bit. Goes over heads. Because I needed to tell it in a way that is not surface level. I can't sit here and get mad at people for not watching no film and being surface level, but my commentary is surface level. I need my stuff. This ain't for everybody. I need this to penetrate. I need this to be, when you see this, dang, they can't even move out of this one. Can't move out of this figure four leg lock. Tell it like it is. T. Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. Viva Hernando, they want Arch Manning. They ain't gonna get him. I'm gonna tell you how this is. Have you ever seen somebody who think you friends, but then every time they get off to themselves with their other friends, they laugh at you? You be like, dang, man. You be looking like, man, y'all thought y'all was real friends. You don't even know it. See, the Hasms and the Browns think that they in with the Mannings. The Mannings had already told them, I ain't going over there. How am I going to go over there? I'm straight on that. We'll stay in college another year. You ain't going to do that. Period Rose. Please talk. Number 12 needs agent on 92.3 The Fan. Free Shedeur. Browns or NFL collusion. All the teams passed on them. Browns fan 25. I appreciate it. I just gave you what it was, right? So is it Browns fans or collusion? All teams passed on them. Let me give you this. So you'll know. So we can get right back to it. We're going to get to it. We talked about this. We talked about the bandwagon effect. One person says it, we're all going to conform to it. Pretty soon, if you say it enough, it becomes truth. So, I be telling people all the time, like it ain't hard for somebody to be like, oh, we're gonna all agree on this one. Roger 12 I says, I can teach you no more. What movie that from? I'm not sure I know what that is. I'm disappointed in myself. I should know this. Nadine Bloomer, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you so much. What time we have? What a time we have. GB, you speaking truth tonight like always. Right on. 67, awesome kid. Equipment manager going to be quarterback 3 for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the energy they on. G. Bush, you're a real one. God has a final say. Thanks for always bringing the receipts and the fire takes. Texas auntie. Here's what I'm going to say too. And this is not to be underestimated. You know who got the final say and where he go? You know who got the final say and when he going to play? You know who got the final say that don't care nothing about your expectations or whatever your plans is? You know who can move people all the way out your way? Who know that favor ain't fair? Who know that the trials and tribulations just now, but he's setting you up for something greater? Don't count him out. Don't do it. And first and foremost, just don't waver and have me shake on nothing. Because here's the thing. Now, if he comes into the game and he balls, now what you're going to say? He in front of the home fan. And if you're listening out there, Shedeur, embrace that fourth. And embrace that fourth on that depth chart. Use it. Internalize it. Let it be your fuel. Because if you come out here and show these fans what you can do at home for the first time, it's going to be very difficult for him to cook. It's going to be very difficult to keep playing around. And the lower and the more they play around, that's what's going to happen. That's the bigger story. That's the bigger plan. Because now you can't say nothing. You're going to say, I performed y'all all off season. Y'all didn't want me throwing. I got no first-team reps. I didn't get nothing. I came from the bottom. So when I'm elevated, it wasn't you that elevated me. You know who elevated me? We'll keep it going. Equipment manager. Gonna be threes. Oh, man. Rescue Nomics 6221. Same reason Brian left. City is cursed. Much love from Texas. I'm going to tell you what, there's a love-hate relationship with LeBron James. And to this day, I still feel weird about it because he left and went to LA and they won the championship. He came back, he did it. And even though he came back and did it, there's always right under the surface this LeBron vitriol. It's the downplaying of his skills. It's the downplaying of his legacy. It's the downplaying because he wore Yankee hats. Told you, it's the identity thing. The second LeBron said, I'm from Akron, I'm not from Cleveland, they got mad at him for telling the truth. Bro, I am from Akron. I went to Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's. I grew up in the hood in Akron. Now, because it's a diss to you because I said where I'm from, that's where all that collective identity about Browns people being like, oh, he's from here. Come on, man. It'd be wild work, bro. That's insecurities, man. Debo 521. D Bush, do you realize how many Shedeur fans hoping to get traded or released from your team? Sorry, G Bush, we out. Amen. I give you my blessing. Not hurting me. You know why? Because I want people to win. I want to see you get an opportunity. I know what it is sometimes to feel like you've put in the work. You've done everything possible. You've done all the right things. You've said all the right things, and you still get overlooked. You still get cast to the side. You still, all these things. So I know what it feels like to have that happen. I want to see him have an opportunity. And if it's here, awesome. If it's not here, I still ain't going to feel no type of way. The owner said, the owner said what he said, so believe him and Coach GM just following the master order. S.E. Shelton, we appreciate you. Alexander Gallant says Shedeur has the highest quarterback rating of all the quarterbacks preseason game week 1. But then again, now all of a sudden that was against Carolina. But remember when he was going against Carolina, people was like, oh, yeah, people were saying, dude, he hasn't got any first team reps. And I'm like, all right, well, he ain't got no first team reps. He got to go out and do it. Now all of a sudden they trash because he was balling. What's Leo Power says, was it the computer too good to throw interceptions? They better get 4 ready. They are not surviving this year if they look bad. So sad, man. Let's see. Geo Davis, we appreciate your super chat. Tessa Hadassa. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I appreciate you so much for the super chat. I love your show, G. Bush. The okie doke don't work on us anymore. They don't want to unleash Shedeur to turn around an NFL team like he did. Yeah, listen, the okie doke, yeah, I feel you. But, it ain't working no more. We got to get to it. Because of Shedeur Sanders, I'm now watching ESPN and Sports Daily. Love your podcast, G. Bush. The Browns are about to miss out on a great opportunity for Cleveland and NFL in general. The Tony Dane, thank you so much. Shout out to the aunties out there. We appreciate y'all checking me out, especially this late. And that's a blessing. Varian is right. Mary Kay did say that. That's wild. Gee, the prime equity clause is the real downfall. People been, they know about that. All of this is meant to affect recruiting at Colorado too. Texas Cannon, they don't like Prime. They don't like him like that, which is crazy because I actually showed my wife. She was born in the Philippines, And I said, bro, I was talking about Coach Prime. And I was like, man, I got to saying, man, he was so electric on the field. And she's like, what are you talking about? She didn't know that Coach Prime had played. And I said, let me show you these highlights. She was like, oh my God, he's so fast, babe. Coach Prime really one of the best players I've ever seen. I said, and he played baseball. It was wild. Better Stewart. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Better Stewart says, thank you for the transparency and honesty. I appreciate you. Rogers 12 Eyes says, the last dragon, you can teach the Browns no more. Yeah, man, I feel like Leroy sometimes. Moving soon. Save time and money on your next truck rental with Diddy Truck. Compare prices from companies like U-Haul, Penske, and Budget. Reserve your next truck with Diddy Truck. Compare to save. Shout out to Diddy Truck, too. Unlike summer outlets, I give you that ability. Shout out to you. They be cooking, man. Project Leroy says, thank you for the dissertation, G. Bush. I appreciate you. 86 Burgundy says, Brown said they are all going to believe us or your lying eyes or lying ass eyes. Brown said that y'all going to believe us or your lying ass eyes. I had to say it right. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Well, with that being said, I want to appreciate every one of y'all in here that came in and pulled up on me impromptu. Hopefully the Cleveland Browns do what they need to do. Keep it locked coming up tomorrow. I'm going to go live for Ultimate Browns. We will be talking about a lot of different things, how these reps is broken down. Don't forget, coming up Saturday, we're going to get into the barbershop. We're going to do that as well. And as always, if Shedeur Sanders, and we will be coming with a post-game show as well on that same day. So I appreciate you guys staying up with me late tonight, and have a good rest of your night. And make sure you get in bed, get ready to go. Kids got to go to school. And I appreciate you. With that being said, you never know when G. Bush might show up, especially in midnight doing this. But if you want the fresh cut, the real cut on sports, you know where to find me. Have a great night. And as always, even though I be mad at them and they don't be trying to play Shedeur Sanders, I got to say, go Browns.